next thing we're going to talk about is a dot. So a dot following a note is worth 1/2 the value of the note it follows. So I know that sounds really confusing, but we're going to break it down. So it says in the meter 3/4, the dotted half note receives 3 beats. Okay, so let's take a quarter note. So we learned in 2/4 time, a quarter note equals 1 beat. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, in 3/4 meter, the dotted half note receives 3 beats. Okay, so we learned that a half note equals 2 beats. So half of 2, because we're adding half of the value with the dot. So a half note equals 2 beats. So add the dot. Half of 2 equals 1, so it equals 3 beats. So if we're doing in 3/4 time meter, we will be playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So when the notes are getting higher than one another, they're moving up. So like this. And when the notes are moving below each other, they are going down. So I'm going a little fast in this video. So if you don't understand something, make sure you rewind the video or pause it so you can better understand what I'm trying to explain. Next note we're going to talk about is the whole note. The whole note is just ahead of a note, ahead of a half note, except it's not worth 2 beats, it's worth 4 beats, and it has no stem. So in the time signature 4/4, we talked about the top note equals how many beats are in the measure, and the bottom note told you what note gets the beat. 4 beats in a measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. So that would equal 1 whole note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. In music, each note in music has a matching rest. A rest means silence. This is a quarter rest written right here. It receives 1 beat in 4/4 meter. So, just like a quarter note, there's a quarter rest, which equals the same amount of beats. So a quarter note equals 1 beat, a quarter rest equals 1 beat. But a quarter rest you don't play. Like it says, the rest means silence, so you don't play when there's a quarter rest. So let's play a measure of quarter notes and a measure of quarter rests. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, I didn't play the whole second measure because it was of quarter rests. And rests are kind of noted by this little squiggly line right there. So I'm going to play this measure in 4/4 time, and I'm going to note the rests when there is one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. So I briefly talked about dynamics in the beginning video that I first did on this channel, about how you get dynamics, but dynamics are noted on the page by an F or a P, and they can add more F's or P's to make it to tell how loud or soft you need to play. So the F stands for forte, which is the music word for a loud tone. The abbreviation for forte is this F. So I'm going to play 4 quarter notes forte. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. The next one is piano. It's the music word for soft tone. Abbreviation for piano is this P right there. And I'm going to play 4 quarter notes piano. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so next I'm going to do 4 quarter notes forte, 4 quarter notes piano. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a curved line or a slur over or under a group of notes is called a phrase mark. So slurs just mean that you play the note without breaking up the sound. So if I was going to slur 4 quarter notes, it's going to sound like this. Another thing, which is kind of confusing, so make sure you pay attention here. When 2 notes on the same line are joined or space are joined together by a curved line, it's called a tie. Play the first note only and let it sound for the value of both notes. Okay, so it kind of looks like a slur, but the difference between slur and ties is slurs are in different notes and ties are on the same note. So if I'm going to play whole note tied to another whole note for 2 measures in 4/4 time, I'm going to play the tied note for 8 beats because you have 1 measure is 4 beats, the first whole note, tied to a second whole note, which is also 4 beats, so that means together it'd be 8 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this could also be in quarter notes. So I could have 1 quarter note tied to another quarter note, so that would be 2 beats. 1, 2. Or half notes, a half note tied to another half note, so that would equal 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So another musical term is something called a ritardando. So what a ritardando means, it means to gradually play slower. This is, it's usually abbreviated by rit, and it looks like this, and it means gradually play slower. I'm going to play Mary Had a Little Lamb with a ritardando at the end so you can hear what it sounds like. So you can hear that at the end of the song, I start to slow down. I was using a ritardando, and it means, ritardando means gradually slower. So we talked about quarter rests. Now we're going to talk about a whole rest, which a whole rest equals the same amount of beats as a whole note. It looks like an upside down hat because the lines on the staff connects to the bottom of the line on the staff, and it looks like an upside down hat. So it equals 4 beats. So I'm going to play a whole note, then a whole rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's in 4/4 measure. A dot above or below a note, which is indicated like this, means to play in a detached manner, not connected. This is called a staccato. The sign for staccato is a dot over a note. So a staccato sounds like this. So it means played in a detached manner. So I'm going to play Mary Had a Little Lamb staccato. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in one of the last videos, I talked about how the black notes were sharps and flats. So by definition, a sharp, which looks kind of like a hashtag, sign is placed before a note, and it means to play the next key to the right. Sharps go up. So we talked about sharps, how this was an F sharp, G sharp, B, A sharp, C sharp, D sharp. We talked about that in one of the last videos. Let's continue with the rests. So we learned what a half note is. This is what a half rest looks like. It is worth 2 beats in 4/4 measure. It looks like a hat. So remember, half and hat. Half and hat. So I'm going to play a half note followed by a half rest. And I'm going to play another half rest. And then I'm going to play a half note. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, the whole rest is under the line and the half rest is above the line. Like a sharp, there's something called a flat sign, which looks like a B kind of. It's placed before a note to play the next key to the left. flats go down. So we talked about flats. So we know this is B flat, A flat, G flat, E flat, D flat. And we talked about that in one of my earlier videos. So you guys basically just learned basic piano theory. So if you look at a piece of music, you can notice all the stuff that's written based on what I just taught you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.